A man who is becoming leaner, meaner. His team is now in the Super Bowl for the second time in 5 years. It is our friend Philly 500. He joins us now.
See this face, man. This is the face of a conference champion right here.
Oh my God,
man. My man.
Wow. Look at the confidence and cockiness about it, man.
I love it. I love it.
Give me your thoughts, man, on the second title in 5 years you guys are going for now. I mean, hey, dude, I've got to give it to you here, man. I mean, wasn't the greatest NFC title game, but they didn't have to because they took care of business by knocking out the quarterback. They did that. And here you are in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl. Look, my thoughts on that game is we got to see old-fashioned buddy ball. We're going to physically beat you into submission. And that's what the Eagles did. They cut the snake off at the head right away. It was over. That was good old buddy ball. I have no problem with it. It wasn't like Purdy hurt himself coming out of the tunnel and twisted an ankle or something like that. That was Hassan Reddick putting damage on him. I think that's fair game, you know.
Philly, I'll say this to you, man, and I've been saying it all week, maybe even now for a couple weeks. This Hassan Reddick guy, I mean, he's a force. I mean,
he's a monster.
Dude, this guy is shot out of a gun, and it's undefensible. I can't believe how good he is. And by the way, if you're the Cowboys, and someone asked this question 4 months ago, dude, would you mean Michael Parsons? Come on, it's not even in the same conversation. I don't know about that anymore.
No, I mean, statistically, he had a better year than Parsons. He's taken his team because let's face it, he was the MVP of that game. Okay,
I think he's been the MVP, Philly, for the entire playoffs for them.
I think that's fair enough, you know. And so he stepped up. Big time players step up in a big moment. He had statistically a better year than Parsons. Why isn't he even considered for Defensive Player of the Year? I think he's better than Parsons. I think that's fair to say at this point.
I'm going to throw something at you, and you tell me if you disagree or agree. And I'm going to go first. Let me set it up by doing this. Do you think that there is still about Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, a perception about him about not being elite?
There's a perception about him, but there's a perception about just about everybody and everything on this team, from the coaching staff to Jalen Hurts, to the Eagles have an easy schedule, to the Eagles this, that. It's like no matter what they do, I feel like there's always an excuse for why they do it.
That's true, but I want you to stay with me on Jalen. I'm going to make a point here. So you do think there's a narrative. When I look at Joe Burrow, I look at Herbert, they don't look at him like those guys, and this is why he was a second rounder. I'm going to tell you where I think that started, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. This started with Nick Saban, and I'm going to tell you why. Saban fired him on national television.
Mm-hmm.
He had 7,000 total yards at Alabama, was the SEC player of the game, had lost the previous year in the title game to Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
In the title game, they yank him out at halftime, put Tua in, and he never starts again at Alabama. He sees time in the SEC title game the following year, does well in it, but that's pretty much it. This began with the greatest college football coach saying he wasn't good enough to start here anymore. And that followed him and has followed him because now Saban's coming out, oh, he's been through a lot. Hey, that's great after the fact, dude. But you fired that guy. At Alabama, he had to leave, Philly. Don't you think that's where it began for him, where they've been doubting me the whole time? The only person I could think that doubted him the whole time was Saban at the beginning. Am I wrong?
I mean, you might be right. I mean, there's probably something to it. I don't know. I don't understand why he's not considered elite at this point. To me, he's 16-1 this year. I think he's proven to be elite. I do. I know he didn't have his best passing game last week, but he
did you think Rex Grossman was elite at 15-1?
No, no, I did
Okay,
not.
well, I
did not.
mean, he got the Bears to the Super Bowl. So it's more
Yeah.
about the numbers, and you've got to look at him personally. And by the way, I added up all the numbers. They're not that super far off from Mahomes and total yardage and the total touchdowns. And
Right.
I don't think it's that far off. And I'll say this to you, in the Super Bowl, I don't see the advantage. I think this game's a blowout.
Really, I think it's going to be a good game, but I'll take blowout the Eagles' way, of course.
Okay, you tell me where the advantage is. Okay, watch this: quarterback, tight end, and head coach.
Well, you go Andy probably, right? And I guess you
Right,
could
and
say
watch this: coach,
Andy,
tight end,
right,
and quarterback.
okay, right. I think that's fair.
Receivers, Eagles. Line, Eagles. D-line, Eagles.
Eagles.
Linebackers, Eagles. Secondary, Eagles.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Where's the advantage?
I think the Eagles have a big advantage. I do. The only thing is I'm a Mahomes fan, so I think Mahomes will keep them in the game for a little bit. I think he will keep them in the game. But I agree. I think the Eagles, I think they're going to have a big game. Matter of fact, I think Jalen Hurts is going to have his best game as a professional in this game. I think he steps up big time. You see, because we could talk about Hurts and Rex Grossman. The difference between Hurts and Rex Grossman is Jalen Hurts carried his team a lot of weeks. He went out there offensively, moved the ball, and did great things. I never saw Rex Grossman do that. Rex Grossman managed the game.
Yeah, but Jalen didn't carry that team in the NFC title game. I mean, he had
not in the title game. No, but if you look at through the course of the season, he did. Yeah.
And he last year he was the caboose. This year he's the engine.
Yes.
Okay. So and I agree with that. I mean, if you look at all the games he played in the regular season, I don't think he played a poor game at all in any of them. The shitty Giants game at the end of the year, whatever that thing was, that's okay. And again, to go back on the NFC title game with you, it's not that he played super poorly. I mean, the 30-yard gift, if they take it away, he has 93 yards passing and 42 yards rushing. But they didn't have to do anything because Reddick wrecked the game.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing.
No, it is. It is. It's a gift. That's right.
It is because Jalen Hurts, if he had to throw more in the second half to guys like Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, I believe they would crack there. I mean,
can I tell you what he told
A.J. Brown? King? Yeah.
Here, Philly. He told Peter King this. When I threw that ball in the Giants game, that 40-yard pass down the field, it was the furthest pass I had thrown since Chicago, and I thought my arm was going to fall off.
Wow.
So I don't think – see, to me, I don't think he played poorly in that NFC title game because
no, I don't either.
His talent, I think he's hurt. I think he's more hurt than people are saying.
I think there's something to that too. I actually do, because that pass to AJ Brown, he didn't miss that pass all year. Year. He just I could see that. But see, I mean, the thing with this kid is he just keeps coming, man. He's not shattered. He doesn't shake. He doesn't get rattled. We talk about everything that happened in Alabama. Clearly, this kid is mentally tough, and he's got all the intangibles. And what I liked about him is, even though he didn't have to go throw, for 300 yards, because, they knew the 49ers couldn't move the ball, he was able, especially in the second quarter, to get 2 drives for touchdowns with that offense, right? To go up 2 touchdowns. And he didn't make any mistakes, didn't turn over the ball. And to me, I love the kid. I do.
What team's better, 17 or 22?
22. But they've got to finish it. If they finish it, if this team wins, I think they're the best Eagles team I've ever seen. I think you have to put them up there. I think everybody looks at this team and says, "Oh,
and beating Mahomes and Andy."
Right, and beating Mahomes and Andy. But everybody looks at this team and they go, "Oh, well, the schedule is easy, and it's this or it's that. You're playing the Niners; they're all hurt."
Yeah,
but
the
thing
Philly,
is they blow everybody out. They blow
Philly,
everybody out.
Takes care of that. That game takes care of everything because it's a Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the Eagles have done all year what they're supposed to do. I mean, they've done it to the utmost degree. They beat everybody. And then if they go in and they win the Super Bowl, I think people got to stop looking at this team as, overhyped or, overrated, and start saying maybe this team's very underrated. Maybe this is one of the better teams we've seen in a long time in the National Football League because they dominated everybody.
Philly, watch this too. With Brady's retirement now, can you, outside of San Francisco, and watch this for 2023 and maybe even 2024? That's a long time in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Niners have a great roster, but it's chaos at the quarterback position. Purdy's not going to be ready for 6 months. You don't know if Trey can play. Garoppolo's out of town. I mean, there's still chaos at that position. 7 years of chaos for him. Give me another team in the NFC. Detroit? Green Bay, maybe they roll it back one more year with Rodgers. The Bucs are going to suck.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to get worse.
We know what they're going to do. Cowboys
the
choke.
Giants might get better because there's a lot of cap. My point is, if you lose a couple guys in free agency here, you're still going to be the kings of the NFC, right?
Absolutely. You have to be. I think so. I think the NFC is wide open for the Eagles to run amok next year as well. I definitely do. It'll be interesting to see what happens with guys like, they're talking about Rodgers going to the Jets. It's like, we had Favre to the Jets. Let's just get Rodgers now. So that's fine with me. Get him out of the conference. Brady's gone. Dak Prescott's a choker. And I think the Eagles are set up really nicely.
The Rams aren't going anywhere, right?
No, they seem older, right? I know they got to be having cap problems. I know they got no draft picks. So I don't really think, I don't think so. Somebody will emerge, but as a challenge. But right now, I think the Eagles are set up really nice.
I couldn't wait to throw this list at you here. I got a couple questions here for you. I got this list from Drew Rosenhaus.
Okay.
The famed agent. Okay.
Yeah.
Top 50 free agents in the NFL. Here's what the contracts are going to be offered for Javon Hargrave. 3 years, $55 million, $18 million a year, 36 guaranteed. Now, there's already on the table, the Eagles have a 3-year, $51 million deal. Okay. So they're kind of in the ballpark there. Mm-hmm. You think he does this deal?
If they're that close, then I think it's done. You're not talking that much.
27.
Difference. He's 27, yeah. Yeah, I think he does. I think it gets done.
I thought these numbers were going to be higher. Watch this one. James Bradbury, 2 years because he's 29, $24 million at 12 a year, 16.5 guaranteed. I'll tell you what, it's not 18 like I thought it was going to be annually.
That's the projection?
Yeah, these are contracts. When they go out into the open market, Philly, these are what they think you're going to get if you go. Because look, when you're an agent, you got to tell your guys, this is what I think you're going to be offered, and this is what the market is for you. So James Bradbury.
I'm going to get excited now. Yes, he's coming back. You got to bring him back for that.
Okay, here's the 24th ranked free agent out of the top 100, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. 3 years, 34.5, 11.5. Remember, because he's a safety, not a corner.
Safety, right.
23 guaranteed. Here's what I do. I signed both Bradbury, Gardner, trade Slay before the draft, and draft a corner. Because I get the 17 off the book. He's 33.
Yeah. I would do pretty much everything except for I keep Slay and I still draft the corner. And I let the corner sit behind Slay and Bradbury for a year.
Maybe you move them trade deadline during the year.
Possibly. But if I can keep them together for one more year, I would do it.
TJ Edwards, 3 years, $40.5 million, 13.5 a year, 25 guaranteed.
Go on.
Here's a tough one. Isaac Seumalo, 3 years, $33 million, $11 million per year, 22 guaranteed. I'll tell you something. He has played exceptional ball the last 2 months. I'll tell you something, man. I know it's expensive. Watch this. Two tackles making $18 million. Mm-hmm. Then you would pay 11 to your right guard, and another 10 to Kelsey. I want Kelsey back next year. You're going to let a 27-year-old guy who's going to command $11 million a year and is a Pro Bowler, he's an alternate Pro Bowler, You gonna let Seumalo walk out the building at 27?
If I could keep him, I would definitely keep him. I wonder if that Jason Kelsey decision, whether he comes back, will play a part in that. Like
Good
if
call.
Kelsey retires,
good call.
then maybe you bring Seumalo back, right? But if you got to bring him back, yeah.
How about this one? This is kind of interesting. Brandon Graham at 65, he's ranked as the top 100 free agents. 1 year, 4.5. Now the difference here is he's making 14.4 now. He's taking a $10 million pay cut, but he's 37 next year.
Right.
So 4.5 with incentives. Don't you feel good about bringing him back, double-digit sack guy?
Yeah, I think what Brandon Graham offers from just like standpoint of getting that defense going and stuff, I think you got to try to bring him back. I want Brandon Graham to come back one more year at least.
Here's a tough one too. Miles Sanders, 3 years, 22.5, 7.5 per, 14.5 guaranteed.
I think he's gone. I don't think he's going to make the cut. I would love to have him back. I don't think it's going to happen though.
You see how we paying $7.5 million for him?
No, I don't. Especially if you kind of look at the way they've used him the last part of the season. It's almost like they almost prefer Gainwell and Boston Scott. And
Gainwell.
And Gainwell's come on. So I could see Miles going.
Kaiser White, 2 years, $8 million, $4 million per, 4.75 guaranteed. He's been balling lately.
Yeah.
$4 million.
I
don't think that's over the top, dude.
No, these numbers sound low to me, to be honest with you. Like you'd think they're going to get a lot more. I think you got to try to keep TJ Edwards or Kaiser White. One of them you got to keep, one of them you got to let walk. And then you got Nakobe Dean. You kind of let Nakobe Dean take over next year. So that's how I would do it. So one of those guys has to stay. I would lean towards Edwards probably, and I'd let White go.
Last one, Marcus Epps, 2 years, 13.5 at 6.75 per with 7.5 guaranteed. Do you think Blankenship is good enough to take his role?
So the Marsha Epps is going to get that much? No, he's gone. Gone. Forget Marsha Epps.
Marsha Epps. Okay. You okay, so you think Blankenship can take his role very easily.
Or I'm happy to do it for him. I'll come lose some weight and put me in. I'll tackle better than Marsha Epps, I'll tell you that.
Okay, lastly here. Hey, Tone, do me a favor. Show my boy Tone what was given yesterday to our dear friend and somebody that Philly 500 loves. Show him the Jerome Brown. They honored, or they had a mural that they made for Jerome it's on my Twitter page. I put it on my Twitter page too. And they were able to put this mural up, and they honored him in Brooksville. Let me see if Tone's still around here. Maybe see if we can get him. I want to show. Come on, Tone, show it to him, man.
I want to see it.
This thing is really cool.
Oh yeah.
And there's the mural. Remembering Jerome, Wednesday, February 1, 2023. They put a mural up there, right there.
Yeah.
Hosted by the city of Brooksville. It's a piece of artwork now that they were able to honor and dedicate to Jerome yesterday.
Yeah,
there's your boy.
Beautiful. Yeah. One of my favorite all-time players.
Look at that,
sure.
man. Pretty cool, huh?
It. Yeah.
I love it beautiful. Too. All right, man. Hey, so
thank you.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, I'm looking forward to this myself. I really am. I'm looking forward to this. I don't see Kansas. The only way Kansas City keeps this thing close, in my opinion, is because Kelsey is going to be able to school the linebackers of the Eagles, and Mahomes keeps them in the game.
Yeah.
It's the
Well,
only way I see this thing hanging in there, right?
They don't run the ball enough. That I think that's going to kill the Kansas City Chiefs. And they really can't run the ball. And I think the Eagles can move. I think the Eagles will have a much easier time moving defense against their defense than, like, say, the 49ers. So you could be right. I definitely think the Eagles are going to win. I haven't figured out what the score is yet. But I mean, I'm loving where we're at. So we just have to wait for this thing, which is going to take forever. But
look at this, man. This guy Maniac thinks that, he thinks that SpaghettiOs is an Italian dish. Bro. Okay, listen, man.
What?
Philly 500's not going to eat SpaghettiOs in a bowl.
What's he talking about?
Look, he's saying raviolis in a big bowl of raviolis. Dude, you don't know any Italian food. You think Olive Garden's an Italian restaurant. It's not.
Come on, Maniac. What's up with you?
Dude, Tony Romo's is not an Italian restaurant.
Let's go, Come on, Maniac.
Hey, dude,
what's up?
We're going to catch up Super Bowl week, man. Have a great one, man. We'll appreciate you so much. Thank you, brother.
Hey,
by the way, don't forget to check out his podcast. It's one of the top ones on all of YouTube. He does such a great job. I have people telling me all the time, when's Philly 500 coming back on? Just Google him and you'll be able to find that beautiful face.
Thank you.
Philly, appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, my man. Peace.
You got it. That's our friend, Philly 500. We're going to take a time out, hit the like button, keep it here on the National Football Show.